Commence the episode.
Yeah.
What did you learn about conspiracy theories, or what do you have to tell me?
I thought you were going.
Look at us, as organized as ever. No, I want to. Well, this was kind of your idea. I want to know what you had in mind, what you're thinking.
Well, really, there's just this one story about this guy that I used to work with and his idea of where we all came from.
Okay, where were you? What job was this? Who's this guy? Not who's this guy.
That's that Toko.
Okay, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So it's a late night. I'm in the Strander booth, stranding away,
Yeah.
and it's this older guy. And I was like, "Hey, man, where do you think we all came from?"
That's what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he starts off with the like 10% of your brain thing, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
So you know how
Yeah.
like there's that idea that like we don't use our whole brain. I don't know if it's true or not.
That's a whole other
Um,
episode.
Yeah. So his idea is that we are the 10%ers.
Yeah.
So we are the people of the species that can only use 10%, and we are not of this earth, but we got dropped here because we were too dumb to be with the rest of the species on their planet.
Nice.
So they put us here, and we're like, hey, let's see what happens.
And we're too dumb to find out where they are.
Pretty much.
Interesting theory. But then how the heck are we all, like, we're still evolving, but we just evolved to the maximum of our 10%?
Not necessarily. Just because you don't have full brain power doesn't mean you can't keep evolving.
Yeah, I guess.
Because, like, it really, like, 100 years ago, they had all the same brains we have, no?
Yeah, that's true, but you have to. Oh, yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from. Because so we're just compiling
Right?
knowledge.
It's
yeah.
just new ideas, yeah.
Hmm.
Great.
That actually, when you brought up the 10% brain power thing, that reminded me of a show on Netflix that I haven't really got into yet, but it's very interesting. It's called Surviving Death.
Okay.
And I don't even know completely what the show is about. I just kind of got into it, but it's basically talking about like near-death experiences, people who like their heart stops and they have like an out-of-body experience where they're watching themselves get CPR done to them or whatever, right?
Okay.
And they talk about how things like that, or like communicating with the spirit world and all of this, is a part of like the other percentile of our brain, or the fact that we have a consciousness that lives on past the life of our brain and our physical body. I don't know about any of that. I don't want to get into that too much, but
I'll just start off by saying, before we get too deep into any of this stuff,
yeah.
because I'm really one that's got to either see it or experience it to believe it.
Yeah.
So like this is all just curiosity, and like I really like talking about and hearing other people's opinions on this because it is interesting,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, man.
Well, okay, so that brings me to another point, because I'm kind of the same as you, where like I see it, I believe it, it's physical there, it makes sense. Okay, but here's something that you never really think about, or you just have to trust people on, is like the world. And I get it, the world is round, blah blah blah, but like even thinking about like geographically the world map and stuff, the world map is going off of either guys who sailed around the edges of the coast and drew it, or satellite images that limited people have access to. Like you've never actually seen the shape of Canada. You've never seen like stuff like that. How do you know? How do you trust that? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, Google Images.
Yeah, but that's just it.
But I get where you're coming
It's all
from.
just like satellite images from, and I understand there's so much of it out there that it'd be hard to falsify that, but that leads me.
Yeah, when you really think about it, it's kind of easy to like monopolize something like that.
Well, that leads me to
I mean, not monopolize because that's money, but
yeah, grammar
also a
lessons.
board game. Great board game.
I got so many things firing off in my head right now.
Okay, well, say one of them.
So I did some Googling on conspiracy theories, found a whole bunch of crap. Honestly, didn't find anything like interesting or that I was expecting to find. You Google like crazy conspiracy theories and a bunch of stuff that I've never even heard about comes up. Anyways, um,
I off just the listening to podcasts, I can think of like 3 off the top of my head that are just like bizarre.
no, I know, but like I'm expecting to read things about how the Google Home thing is listening to all your information and sending it to CIA or whatever, like stupid stuff like that.
Oh, speaking of CIA,
Mm-hmm.
so the hippies were made by the CIA
Okay.
because it was when they were doing mind control testing and they used LSD.
What?
Like they were giving this is a conspiracy that I listened to. I pronounced that wrong. That's okay. So the government would give agents loads of LSD to go and conduct mind control experiments.
Okay.
So then these agents were taking this drug and going and opening up nightclubs and getting people super messed up and like not really trying to conduct mind control but just like having party time with it.
Yeah. And they just
So
became
then,
hippies.
so then a bunch of people got addicted to LSD and other like
Ah,
LSD. I think is a hallucinogenic, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's what you call it.
So that was kind of like a big hippie thing, where it's like mushrooms and acid
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Oh, I'm getting a call from Dad.
Yeah,
You'll
Dad
have to
just
wait.
called me too. Let's get him on the show.
That'd be funny.
I had to end our call though to pick up his, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It's just gonna ring for a little bit.
That's fine. So, what I finally Googled and actually found one that I was like, whoa, wait a second. It was the conspiracy theory that Finland, the country Finland, does not exist. It's not there. And that takes me back to the whole map of the world thing. Is everybody just has it drawn in, and like satellite images, I get it. I definitely think it's there, but you know what I mean?
I mean, people are from Finland.
Well, okay, let me read out the theory here, but like really you have no proof that there's land there or not, right?
I mean, I've never personally been to a place called Finland, so yeah, I don't know.
No, but even if you went to where they said Finland was, you have no idea that it's that spot on the map, right? Here's the theory. The theory originates from the Cold War, which is not that long ago, considering the world is so much older.
Yo, what were they even fighting about in the Cold War? That was like Russia
and the U.S.
The States.
It's all about like the nuclear powers and stuff.
Yeah,
like, I can't even remember. Don't ask me.
I know. I got it in my head now. I kind of know where I'm going.
Basically, what they say happened was the USSR, which was allied with Japan, and the States were the enemies in the Cold War. And I don't know why this doesn't even make sense to me, but the theory is that Finland is not there, and the sea that is right at the base of Finland, the Baltic Sea, is where Finland is. And so the people that live in Finland either live on this edge of Sweden or this edge of Russia or whatever. Like that's the Finnish people.
Okay.
And the reason that Russia has made up Finland and tried to get everybody to believe that Finland exists is so that they can keep control of the Baltic Sea. And they want to keep control of it so that they can let their Japanese buddies fish there. So the idea is that the Japanese fish the Baltic Sea and they get all the fish from the Baltic Sea. Then they ship it through their allied Russia dudes on the Trans-Siberian Railroad that goes all the way across Russia, and they ship it out to Japan, and that's the ally thing there. And then the people from Finland are, yeah, from the neighboring countries, and that's why Finland is such a perfect country with no crime rates and all this stuff, is because it doesn't actually exist and blah blah blah. Like, it's just such a wild idea that
When you started this and you said the Baltic Sea, and I was like, all right, maybe like some sick underwater base or like
and yeah,
some
we need the
cool.
fish.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
gotta fish.
I still don't fully understand why Russia would, or the USSR or whatever, would even want people to believe that Norway's there, or that Finland's there, not an empty sea where people can
Aren't the
fish.
aren't the Dudesons from Finland?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but
Plus, Finland's basically just ice anyway, so if it melts, it is a sea.
well, the crazy thing is, I looked up, like, when you go on Google Maps, Finland is like covered in lakes, like covered in
Yeah.
lakes. It's like basically an ocean. But anyways, what
Wow,
I
you're just like confirming this conspiracy.
no, what really puzzles me is you would think like a government or a big allied force would want to convince someone that land is not there, like an island, like, oh, erase it off the map. There's just water here, and then have like a secret base there or something.
Uh huh.
But they're like, no, there's no ocean here. There is a whole country. Like, what? Why?
I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't know. That's
It's
like,
kind of
yeah,
reversed.
it is complete opposite.
But I guess then it kind of makes sense too, because you can convince someone there's land there by putting people on the edges of other countries and being like, "You are from here," and they're like, "Whoa, I'm from Finland." I don't know, man. It's a wild idea.
That's quite the.
It's just, it's weird to think that like that's actually a thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
totally.
One other conspiracy theory that I stumbled across that was interesting, but again, just kind of stupid.
Uh huh.
There is already a theory out there that Walt Disney went into some like cryo freeze thing before he died.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Okay. But
Is he back?
no, to cover that up, because everybody was so interested trying to figure it out, blah blah blah, Disney purposely named Frozen, the movie Frozen, they named it
Yeah.
that so that whenever people searched Disney Frozen, that movie would come up, and it basically erases any other potential ideas of people being able to Google Walt Disney being frozen.
Yeah.
That's
That's
dumb.
that's just funny, but because I'm pretty sure I could still go on the computer and type Walt Disney is he frozen, and I could find a link to some
Maybe.
nut job who came up with
Yeah.
some conspiracy.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things like Elvis actually isn't dead. He's now a janitor at this high school, and like all these.
Yeah, why would Elvis want to be a janitor?
I don't know, man.
Come on now. You know what's crazy to think about
What?
is that we don't actually know what is in the center of the earth.
Like in the middle, in the core?
Yeah.
Lava, because every time they drill in there, it gets too hot.
They've never drilled that far down.
No. But well, somebody's figured something out in a way to whatever, but
How?
I don't know.
You can't get that far.
On that point though,
No.
what? You can't get that far? Yeah, I get it.
What if it's just like a huge
Military base.
diamond ball?
Diamond
There's
ball.
just diamonds everywhere. And we could be rich,
Well,
Zach.
then
We
you
got to go to the center of
Better
the
start
earth.
digging, yeah.
Right, but really, you think about it,
Oh,
like
I know. Same.
like science can only say like, yeah, you can do your tests, you can do this, you can do that,
Yeah.
but like you don't actually, you can't get that far down. No one's cut the earth in half. No one's.
But then, like,
You don't know.
I know, but it's crazy the things they do know, or that they say they know, because think about like Pluto. Think about how far away Mars is, and then think about how
Yeah.
far away Pluto is, and somehow
Uh.
they've figured out that it's there, what it's made of. Like, what? How do you know that? How do you like?
Dude.
Maybe one probe has made it out that far since ever, but like they still
Yeah.
know everything about it. Same with like
That's just bullshit.
I was reading about maybe I was reading about the pyramids just before this, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother mystery. But they're stating like the first ever recorded pyramid was built 630,000 years ago. It's like, how can you measure that? Oh, sorry, no, that was something else. It was built whatever, like still 6,000 years
Yeah,
ago.
like carbon dating.
Yeah,
How accurate is that, right? And so then they carbon date the Earth, and they're like, the Earth is 7.4 billion years old,
yeah.
or whatever. That might be how
That's
many
how many
people's on
people
the
are.
Earth. Okay, the Earth is however many
Yeah,
billions of years old,
yeah.
right? It's like, well, not really. That's just the oldest piece of dirt that you found.
Well, yeah.
The Earth could be trillion, million,
Beep.
fucking gazillion, and there could have been a whole civilization, and yet something happened and it wiped away. And right, this is all just like, oh, we found this rock and it's really, really old. It's the oldest one we found. This is how old Earth is.
No, I know. I'm just
Like, it's
writing.
all just like science is, you know, yeah. So it proves some things. Some things it's just a
Yeah.
whole load of horse crap.
I was leading myself somewhere and then I got lost.
Think, Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah. um, it was back to maybe not Finland stuff. What was it about? I don't know. I've been reading too much. I read about the pyramids and I read about this and that.
How the pyramids like perfectly align with the stars or some shit.
Do they?
And there's like hieroglyphics in the pyramids in Europe that are the exact same as hieroglyphics in the pyramids in Polynesia or somewhere. I don't know where. Or like Central America or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, like the Mayan stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, they were helped built by the same aliens.
I
That's
remember.
just a really powerful person who's got a lot of slaves, and it's like, we're gonna make this cool big thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about. Okay, there's two things now. First, back to kind of conspiracy theory things, and when you're talking about center of the Earth, made me think about lava. But apparently, I don't know. Again, I don't have no idea if this is true, but apparently there's a huge volcano underneath Yellowstone National Park in the States.
Okay.
And this volcano's mouth or whatever, the top, it's like a very, it's not, I don't know how to describe it, like as if the volcano's underground, so it's not like a huge mountain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth of this volcano is 44 miles across. It's massive.
See, so first off, how did they find that? Second
I don't,
off,
I don't know. This
what?
is the thing, though. This is the thing that, like I was talking about with carbon dating and stuff. The last time they figured out that the last time this volcano erupted was 663,000 years ago. How do you know that?
Yeah, and that's also not that long ago.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Then the other thing is, they're like, it's supposed to erupt any day now, or any year, whatever. And if it does erupt, it will completely wipe out the United States.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
Like, what? And then all the conspiracy theories are like on how the government knows exactly when it's going to erupt and they're not telling anyone, blah, 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 blah. But that's just crazy
I
to
don't
think
think
about.
you
If that
predict
volcano's
that.
actually there, that's wild.
Yeah, man. If it is,
We're going with them.
it's crazy. Yeah, I definitely am. I'm pretty close to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty south.
Um,
Yellowstone's pretty north.
Wyoming, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, actually Yellowstone's, but there's that whole mountain range. I think it's a couple states.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It's okay, because there was this little, we're going to, well, okay, do you have something to say? Because I'm going way off topic. Sort of.
Hitter.
Two things. There's treasure hunting, right? Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
There was this guy, can't remember his name, Fintry Fenn.
Okay.
Anyways, he was, people called him an archaeologist. He was more of like a grave robber,
Oh, okay.
because he would just go around. This was like, I don't know, not that, like he just passed away 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
So like, let's say it was like the 40s or the 50s or the 60s, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Probably not the 40s because there was a war. I don't know how much he was traveling. Anyways,
Okay.
World War II, dumbass.
Yeah, I know. Just continue. Why can you not go
Yeah,
anywhere
why
for
do you always
World
look
War
at me like
II?
I'm stupid?
You're not.
Um, so anyways, this guy would go around and he would take all this stuff, all these archaeology find.
Artifacts.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yep.
Artifacts. He'd go. He'd go take all these artifacts and he'd bring them back to his house and he'd put them in his museum.
Oh, like his own museum. Okay.
Yeah. So like okay. Anyways, he took a bunch of them and little things and he put them in like a little box that was like a half a foot by a foot or like a foot by 2 foot, like a little box.
Yeah.
And he hid it somewheres in the States. And he started a blog and he said, wrote a poem and he said, this is your first clue. There is $2.8 million worth of artifacts somewheres in the States. So people went nuts, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money sitting in the bush somewhere.
Yeah.
So much so that people were like uprooting their lives and like moving to like Wyoming or moving to New Mexico.
Yeah.
To like, because those were some of the places that might have been referenced or like could have, in relation to the poem, to like go treasure hunt for this guy's treasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the treasure was found like 2 years ago.
Where?
And this started like a long time ago. Like maybe early 2000s or something was when he hit it. I can't really remember. I'm real foggy on that part. But someone found it, and the artifacts were like, like 4 something million, just from like how much more valuable they'd gotten.
Wow.
I don't know if Buddy ever like kept them or if he like gave them away to a museum. But yeah, someone found it, so that's wild.
Where'd they find it?
There's, I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't actually read up on it. Someone found it and I was like, oh, sick.
Ah, sick. Whatever.
Too bad it wasn't me. So that's crazy.
That is.
This
wild.
other rich guy hid this like full golden owl that's like, I don't know how big. Just like dug a hole, put it in there, and said like, hey, it's somewhere's over there. And like no one's found it and the guy's dead. So there's just a golden owl buried in the ground that's probably worth at least $1 million or so.
Well, that's another crazy thing to think about is like things that are lost.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna cut in here.
Yep.
Supposedly, there is a lake somewheres in Europe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where, but this is post World War II, so like maybe close to Germany. I don't think it's in Germany. I don't know if it's in Poland or what.
Uh-huh.
But it's supposedly filled with Nazi gold and riches
In
that
this
they had
lake?
stolen
Yeah.
because they just dumped it. They're like, this is not going well. We got to get rid of this. We don't want the bad guys to have, the good guys to have this. And they tossed it in this lake that's apparently super deep. And there's lots of deadfall and like people have died trying to go dive down
Right.
and look, and like no one's been to the bottom or some shit. So yeah, like you have no idea. There's probably millions upon millions and millions of dollars worth of like lost artifacts and gold and
Yeah.
just laying out in the dirt.
Well, like it's when you think about all the classic treasure hunters who are out looking for like merchant ships of like the king's gold or whatever.
Yeah.
There's all this.
There's apparently a ship that's lost at sea. Yep. Millions of dollars worth of gold. Just, it sunk.
Okay, but think about this. So there's like the stories of all those ones where it's like the king's gold never made it to North America, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that they can find because they can track it based on like where it left and when it left and the storm that it might have hit and blah blah blah. But then think about the things that like somehow nobody knows about. And you're just like, whoa, like wait a second. Like there could be so much stuff in the ocean, in some random jungle that just like nobody has any idea about, and it's just sitting there. And it could be whatever, gold. It could be like historical artifacts, but there's just
Oh yeah,
nobody has any idea that it
dude.
ever gone missing or whatever. Right?
There's probably tons.
I know, eh?
Like think of just all the like abandoned mines in the States too
Yeah.
that cowboys probably hid money in from robbing trains, and then the cowboy gets shot at the bar 'cause he's drunk and no one knew
And
he hid
nobody
his
knew
money
he even
there.
hit it exactly.
And now that's a
what I'm
ghost
talking
town,
about.
and the mine's either buried, like it caved in,
Yeah.
but there's just shit ton of money sitting in there.
I actually heard when I was working.
Yo, dude, let's just go be treasure hunters.
Sure, we could probably, even if it's like the gold rush guys, even if we don't find gold, we just make money off the TV show of how we
That's the
failed.
TV show.
But when I was working at the Honda dealership as a parts guy,
Yeah.
I overheard these older guys talking about their motorcycle trip, because that's a huge thing, especially with older people, whether they're on Harleys or like adventure bikes. They'll go on like tours all summer long for like 2 months at a time.
Yeah, my ass would get so sore.
So these guys were like on adventure kind of off-road bikes, and they weren't that old. They're like in their 40s, 50s.
Uh huh.
They met up with this guy from the States, but I think they're in BC or maybe just over the border in the States. But they did this entire tour of abandoned mines. And they talked about some in Alberta, some in BC, but they just spent like 2 or 3 weeks riding motorcycles around to all these abandoned mines. And they would go into mines, he said, for like, they'd go hours before turning around. Like, that's cool on
That's
its own. to
bizarre.
think
That's
about.
so cool.
Yeah.
Think about the mountains too.
Yeah.
How many like planes have crashed into the mountains carrying whatever
Yeah.
and have just been like buried in snow?
Or like the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, what is that even? Like, I know what it
Actually,
is, but like,
well, I read that, I don't know, again, don't know if this is true, but that the Bermuda Triangle is just a weather pattern that causes everything to crash there, or get lost, or instruments not working, and it's just a weather pattern thing.
maybe some weird magnetic field.
Yep, sure. We're running up on 28.5 minutes, sir.
All right. Well, we, talked enough about things that aren't real.
Yeah, part 2
So-
coming soon.
Probably. I like talking about stuff like this.
Oh, yeah, this is good.
Gets the mind going.
I
Gets
looked
you
up a
thinking.
specific conspiracy theory based quote for this episode.
It took you forever.
No, it didn't.
Okay, go ahead.
This quote is, and I don't even remember who said it. I'll look it up maybe, but it says, "Not all conspiracies are theories." And I was like, whoa, what does that even mean? Then I had to look up the definition of conspiracy, and basically what I get from it, conspiracy is like an unlawful plan against someone or something, right? And so
Yeah.
then conspiracy theory means that like Russia made an unlawful plan to pretend that Finland wasn't there. Boom. And it's a theory because it's not proven. But
Yes.
conspiracies can definitely exist in fact.
Mm-hmm.
So consider every conspiracy theory we just talked about, and consider the fact that they could be just conspiracies and not theories. Whoa.
What? That's a good quote.
Yeah, and we get to give James Badge Dale. That's who said that one.
Badgedale.
It's probably his middle name or his second last name. James Badge
All
Dale.
right. Well, my phone's about to die, and
Before everything shuts off, we will peace
Yep.
you later, everybody. See you on the next episode.